Ladies and gentlemen, on this channel, I like to share my successes with you in chess, and I like to share my failures. Recently, there have been mostly successes, and in particular, in online play. After almost 10 years and many, many tens of thousands of games, I crossed 2,900. And I thought I would then drop back down to the 2,800s, and I wouldn't hit my peak again. That was wrong. In this video, I will show you how I hit my peak rating of 2,954, and I will also show you how I got my highest win of all time against a top 10 blitz player in the world, the Polish superstar Jan-Krzysztof Duda. This was a tournament game that I played literally yesterday. I'll also show you two other games from the tournament that I really liked. Yeah, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Go on this journey with me. 2,954. I am now closer to 3,000 than I am to 2,900, which is definitely not something that I thought would be happening anytime soon. I am extremely happy. My confidence and my speed has been really good as of late. I don't know. Maybe I just got older and wiser. Maybe I turned 30 and suddenly everything started spinning up in the old noggin. Yesterday, I booted up the tournament, and in the first round, I beat a 2,500 rated player. So in the second round, I was paired against literally the highest rated player in the tournament. Now, chess.com reflects your post game, so he was 32-11 after this game. His rating was 3,224. I saw that we were playing, and I was like, all right, let's go. I played the move d4. I am about 300 points away from him in rating, which never used to be the case. Duda played d5, very natural move. And here, true to my style, instead of playing Queen's Gambits online, I've been playing a lot of Bishop g5. So I've been playing the Trompowsky against Knight f6, and against d5, I've been playing this opening, which is called the pseudo-Trompowsky, because you don't have the knight to take. Many people still go here. The best line to play here with black is obviously some sort of d and c. I say obviously because the d and c pawns go together very nicely in the queen's pawn game, and I have said that in a million of my videos. And then, the queen comes out, targets the center, targets this, and if that's not obvious to you, that's okay. It will be in the long run. Now, Duda is a very uncompromising player, and f6 should have been expected. It is a little bit of a weird move because normally you don't want to weaken your king, your knight wants to go there, but the idea is to take the entirety of the center, and I gave Duda this position. And then I play this move, knight to f3. And here, many people, when they play me in blitz, they like to keep the center. They end up just developing behind the pawns. Very few of them actually commit this pawn forward and play the position like a reverse French defense, which is actually exactly what it is. We are actually playing e4, e6, d4, d5, knight c3, knight f6. We are playing in an advanced French, a Steinitz French, except I am playing with black and these two moves are included. Duda goes e4. I bring my knight back to the g1 square because I want to go to e2, and then I maybe want to go to f4. And Duda takes as much space as possible with three pawns. Very thematic. I mean, he's just using his pawns to kind of wall me in. I very quickly respond with c4. He develops. I develop my knight to h3. I also could have, of course, developed my knight to c3. I developed to h3. He went bishop d6, and I went knight c3. And here, I completely expected the move bishop to e6. Frankly speaking, I'm not sure black can do anything else. If black develops with pawn takes c4 and knight take with a bishop, it's going to be difficult for black to castle. Black is going to have to spend a few moves dealing with that. So I expected bishop to e6 from Duda. But Duda, like I said, he's a very uncompromising player. He also plays with like a swagger, if that makes sense. Like, he plays in a way where he'll throw away a pawn. He doesn't care. He's going to win it back. He's a very good fighter. It's literally in the username. He castled, and I was like, he's just giving me the center pawn, which didn't make sense to me. So I took, and it's clear he thinks he's just simply going to win this pawn back. And I was like, okay, show me. Show me how you're going to win the pawn back. Because I don't understand, right? Now here, I thought he should probably play a6 and try to quickly play for b5. He obviously didn't like knight g5, knight e6, right? So a6, I can go knight g5. If he goes b5, I come back. And then my knight does get to e6. Now, the computer thinks that position is actually not even equal. It thinks it's just better for black, minus 0.2, which is crazy. Not quite, because after a6, it doesn't even want me to go knight g5. It wants me to go a4. But so Jan-Krzysztof went h6. This stopped this move. But I was like, this feels really slow. And I went queen b3. I overprotected my pawn on d5. The computer hates it. I thought, practically speaking, this was a nice move because it's going to be really hard for him to get my pawn back. And if he plays a6, I was just going to go a4. And I didn't mind the position at all. I didn't know how he was going to get some counterplay here. I could have instead quickly attacked the center with f3. That move, I have to say, did not occur to me. But I also considered just simply knight f4, and he would have to take, and then, okay, at a very minimum, I obtained the bishop pair. But he went king h8, and I went knight b5. And my logic here was very simple. I'm going to take his bishop, and then I'm going to play my knight to f4, and he's not going to be able to take my knight anymore. So my knight, my bishop, my queen are all going to very happily defend on d5, and I actually like my position a lot. Knight takes, and he took with the pawn. And what's insane to me about this position is black is better. Like, I don't get that. I don't understand how black is better at all. I also feel like he maybe was like, he didn't think it was minus 0.5 because I went knight f4. And, you know, now he's obviously going to attack my bishop. I knew that that was going to happen. I could have also stopped that with a4, but I figured if I stop it with a4, he goes g5. G5, and then I'm never getting my knight in the game. So I did all this, and I was like, okay, Jan-Krzysztof is going to play some combination of moves, but I thought he can't even go bishop b7, because if he goes bishop b7, I have a fork, like, all the time. And I'm like, I don't know how he's going to win the pawn back, because if he goes g5, I go knight e6. So I have no idea how Stockfish evaluates this position as minus 0.4, but I can tell you right now, Jan-Krzysztof did not like his position very much because here he spent like 19 seconds and blundered. He obviously was a little bit uncomfortable here, and he went for a tactic which just doesn't work. He went for knight takes d5. And he had calculated knight takes d5 and bishop to e6. But he forgot that I have knight g6 check. He could have taken like this. This doesn't work because I have knight d5, bishop e6, knight e7, and my knight ends up on that square instead of that square. And then after bishop b3, knight g6, I'm at least getting a rook or a bishop, and actually I'm better. So Jan calculated all of this, and he just got forked. And here my head started spinning because as we're playing this game, I'm like, not only am I up material against one of the best blitz players in the world, I'm also up a lot on time. And now I need to play confidently. You know, normally I would just play this, and I was like, no, a4, best move. Played in 3 seconds. Like, let's go. Let's destroy his pawn structure. He goes b4 looking for tactics. I play rook c1. I should have went a5. I should have not let his pawns connect. But, you know, not only am I trying to outplay a 3,200 rated player, I'm also trying not to get low on time because there's no bonus time in this format, right? So I play bishop c4. He goes here. Now I play my queen back to d1. I can't really explain these moves. I'm honestly just trying to play fast. He went queen e8. I went b3, solidifying, and then I went g3. Now, a lot of my advantage, shockingly, is gone. So in that sequence of time where I ended up winning his rook, you know, he coordinated his pieces really well. He played a5, b4, bishop e6, etc. And what I should have done is, you know, I should have played a5. I should have kept his pawns separated, so at least I would be targeting them. And I should not have played so passively. But part of me was recovering from like, oh my god, I'm winning. And here he played knight g4, and I was like, what? I kicked him out. And I thought, okay, once he goes to f6, I would have fended off his counterplay, right? And after he goes knight f6, I'm going to start, you know, queen e2. I was even thinking, hey, can I walk my king over there? Because my king feels very safe on a2, whereas it doesn't feel safe in the presence of the queen. And then here, clearly he was like in a slight tilt. He was in like a, I need to get it back now. And he went knight e3. And this move is simply losing. He did all this because he thought he was getting queen takes g3, but it just doesn't work. Because after queen g3, I'm going to go king d2, and then I'm going to use my queen to save my position, and I'm just up a rook. He went d5, I went bishop e2, and in this position comes the crushing queen to g1, simultaneously defending on e3 and threatening a queen trade, and it's totally over, and I'm still up on time. So I'm like, okay, let's hold the nerves from here. So queen to h4. Here, for reasons I cannot explain whatsoever, I did not take on f4. I mean, again, I'm kind of freaking out. You hear me say this a lot when I'm playing really good players. I'm also up 30 seconds, so I'm like, all right, I thought about bishop g4. I thought about pawn takes and just shielding. I mean, of course, pawn takes and queen e3 here, but I'm like shook. So I play rook c6 and then rook c7 going for mate. And now I can't even take on f4 because it's a fork. So I'm like, God, what do I do? So I go here. He takes. I take with the pawn because I have to activate my rook. He goes here. I play rook h5, and I'm just barely holding the position. Here, I notice that he's threatening queen f3, so I play rook f5, but I totally forget this pawn is hanging, and now it's actually a little bit scary. Like, now my position is very, very slightly dangerous, but I'm still up so much on the clock that it doesn't really matter. He keeps checking me, and at some point around here, I'm like, okay, maybe my backup is I'm just going to beat him on the clock. Like, I have 47, he has 28. Even if I'm not able to put the game away because he's going to have a million checks. My king is wide open. I need to not blunder a fork, right? So look, every move I'm trying to save myself. Now I go for the attack, but he's down to 16 seconds. He goes here, rook h3. I'm like, I'm winning. He goes king g8. I took his rook. And now I just have to not get checkmated, not blunder all my pieces, and win the game with 13 seconds on the clock. He keeps checking me. We probably have like 9 million checks on this position played. I keep trying to escape the checks. Queen c6, queen f6, rook f2, queen d5. He keeps checking me, but he only has 2 seconds remaining, and queen h8 comes in, and that's it. That's all she wrote. King to g5. There will be some sort of a mate. I don't know, rook g3, queen, maybe not actually, but yeah, it's all over, and I beat Duda. And when I won this game, my rating went up to 2954. This was such an incredible feeling. Oh my goodness, I was like, yeah, I've never beaten a 3200. Obviously, ratings on chess.com go up and down. So like, I think I beat Nepomniachtchi when he was 3180. I've beaten Hans. Actually, no, I think Hans was 3200. Maybe he was like 3210. I definitely feel like this was my highest rated win. But again, ratings go, all over the place. I'd like to show you 2 more games. I played Alexi Serrano, who I've actually featured on this channel quite a bit. And I've actually defeated him quite a bit. Our head-to-head score is, yeah, I have 3 wins, and he has now 7, spoilers. But can't be unhappy with this one. And this last game was just very nice. Very nice game with the black pieces. Show you how to confidently beat a 2750. Yeah, I mean, I'm so thrilled with this one, we clashed in the opening, and then he blundered because he was kind of feeling the unease of the position. Yeah, so against Alexi, another Trumpowski. I mean, literally, if I have not convinced somebody watching, an intermediate and advanced player, to try this opening, add it to the repertoire, I'm not sure there's anything I can ever do. So he went bishop f5. This is the reverse London versus the Trumpowski. Here I can play bishop takes f6, but I just played e3, knight d7. And there's a couple of approaches here, but I really like this one. The idea is that you double your pawns in the center, but you open up the c file for the rook. Black can't ever go to e4. And yeah, this position just feels quite comfortable because you play knight f3, you castle, the bishop always comes back, you have good control of the center. Alexi played c6, just very solid. I thought about going for the stonewall structure here. I actually didn't know how good this was if this pawn is here. It's like a stonewall, but the stonewall shifted over. Normally, when you have a stonewall, you have this. But I guess this would have made sense because normally the big weakness in the stonewall is this. And now I will know for the future, you can always play f4 and then put this knight on e5. I went here. I don't think this move really matters. Queen b6. I went rook b1. I went rook b1 because my idea was actually to play b4 and then a4. And here I probably could have gone for that, but I just castled. And I was just thinking, okay, we're going to, develop the rest of our pieces. But Alexi was not about to try to develop the rest of his pieces. He went g5. And there are sometimes these positions in queen's pawn games where you can use your g-pawn and your knight to go get the opponent's bishop, put your bishop on g7, and basically just create a level of imbalance in the game, which is very reasonable. Now here, I can either leave this, I can just kind of play on with my game, or I can move the bishop to e5, and my logic is, well, you're not going to be able to take my bishop, so your knight here is a bit stupid. That is what I did. I have seen this in many places. And when he played f6, I had a feeling he had made a mistake. I in my heart of hearts, I thought the move f6 was a mistake because now the knight was hanging, and it was hanging with a check. That's the other idea of moving the bishop to g3, is that sometimes you have tactics against this knight with a move like knight to e1, or the move that I saw in the game, which I played in 11 seconds, knight to h4, which is an attack on the knight with a check. So here is the line that I calculated. Knight to h4, knight to g7 back, my bishop hangs, and my knight hangs. But my knight after knight h4, knight g7 can go knight g6, attacking his rook and his bishop, which is very nice. If he takes my bishop, I'm going to take his rook, and then I'm going to escape with my knight. So knight h4, knight g7, knight g6, fe, knight here, pawn takes, and I'm going to get my knight out, and he's probably going to, like, you know, the game's going to proceed. So both of us just sprinted into that sequence. Knight h4, knight g7, knight g6, pawn takes, knight h8, ed, knight g6, bishop d6. We just went for this sequence. I spent 0.8 seconds on the move knight g6. He spent 1 second on bishop d6. Here's what we both missed. I can leave my stupid knight in the corner, and I'm actually much better. I am much better, and it is actually a very scary position for black because I have won a rook. He only got a bishop and a pawn. But here, I didn't have to rush with the move. We both thought knight g6 was the best move because we both calculated this line and just went for it, which is good. At least I'm calculating like a 3190. The bad news is that if in this position I was like, I hesitated for a moment and was like, wait a minute, what about queen f3? Queen f3 is crushing because it just threatens going to f7 with either my knight or my queen. He has the castle alongside now. Now I move my knight to a much better square. Now he has to move his rook. And at a minimum, I get this pawn. And if I get this pawn, I probably get this pawn in the future as well. And if he takes, I can take with a queen, I can take with a pawn. I guess here, knight e5 can be a little bit scary. It's a little bit of danger here. But queen f3, and I might beat another 3,200 in the same tournament. I should have just, you know, I trusted my calculations. I mean, seeing that I had previously defeated somebody so high rated, so I just like went very quickly knight g6. He went very quickly bishop d6, and then the game proceeded. Yeah, that's a regret of mine for sure. And here I was thinking, okay, Alexi wants to play king f7. For the record, I have queen f3 again, except at this point, the move didn't occur to me even at the slightest. I also thought about playing pawn takes d4 with the idea to try to get my knight an escape hook. But I didn't like the fact that his queen is getting more active. So I thought of another line, which was e4, king f7, f4. e4, f4. Blow open the right side of the board, sacrifice my knight. It's a Trojan horse. I'm going straight for the king. Let's go. e4, f4 takes. Oh, maybe I don't have anything. Yeah. There's enough coverage for this king. This knight somehow is a miracle worker. It's defending two of the most, like, important squares for me to attack on. Pawn takes here. I don't have anything, I just assumed maybe I would get no, queen f3 just doesn't work because he plays rook f8. Everything important near this king is protected, and he has a bishop and a knight for a rook, which is almost always good for the bishop and the knight, and in this case, yeah, it's certainly no exception. So I played pawn takes. I kept trying to bring a few pieces, but Alexi just too ruthless. Even here, like, I have to sack my rook, otherwise he's going to just block my position completely. I thought I had a little bit of something, but just good defending, and again, stopping me from getting in, stopping me from taking on e6. And when I play queen h4, there's just knight f6. Like, everything is just defended, just in time. Now he brings the queen back, and yeah, now it's his turn to attack me. And I am certainly going to lose. I resigned here because he's threatening a queen trade, which is a threat when you are up this much material. And if I play queen h6, I actually thought he's going queen h5, which is definitely winning, but I think knight f5 just traps my queen. That's pretty disgusting. Nice. So, honestly, in this game, if I had just, like, waited here, because I calculated from a distance, so I just quickly played knight g6. If I had waited, could have been a different game. Could have been a very different video. I would have been like, guys, I'm 2970. Anyway, the good thing about playing 3100s is that in the same tournament, when you are then paired against somebody beatable, 2700, somehow it feels easier. So I played against a 2750 rated player toward the end of the tournament, and I was really proud of how I played this game. I thought it was a very interesting game. So d4, I'll just show this game to you. d4, b6. I like to play all sorts of different openings. I am, totally happy playing, different positions and so on. He played e4, bishop b7, targeting the center with my light squared bishop. E6, D5. So I like to play this system, E6, B6. I also wrote a course about it a long time ago, especially for blitz. It's very nice. You know, it's like a weird French defense. Bishop D3, knight F6. My opponent's playing totally normally. And here I played this move C5. The two pawns in the center, they go together pretty nicely. White really has to know what they're doing here. Like the best line is E5, followed by rerouting the knight here and then trying some sort of attack. If they don't know what they're doing, if they try to play a little bit too comfortably, you can equalize quite easily. Every move here taking back on D5 is good, even the queen. I took like this to control the knight on... oh my god, what is with my nose? I woke up this morning and I'm like sneezing. I don't know why. It's winter in New York. There's no allergies. Oh my god. Castles. Now, he went here. I put my bishop on D6 because it was hanging. My opponent went H3, and I finished up my development. And now we have to beat the opponent from this position. A position of symmetry. Only something on the E file has been traded. I'm considering Queen C7. I'm considering Rook E8. I'm considering the other Rook to E8. And I know that my opponent would like to play Knight to E5, because there's really no other way to make progress. Now, what's funny about this is that, again, I responded very quickly to Knight E5. Knight E5 just hangs a pawn, which is pretty ridiculous. I can just take twice. Like, it didn't even occur to me. I mean, I had just prepared Knight E5, Queen C7 in my head, and that was that, you know? If Queen E5, Rook E8, and I just win. I just pin the queen to the rook. Which is absurd. I did not think this. I did not see this at all. I just was like, oh, Knight E5, I'm gonna go Queen C7. I need to trust myself, but not always. I mean, I'm not always gonna be right with my first judgment, you know? I can't get every single situation right, but yeah, Knight E5 was just a huge mistake. Luckily, during the game, I had no idea. My idea here was like, okay, we're obviously battling for this. I'm gonna put my knight on E4, and then I'm gonna play F6, and we're gonna have a great time. He went Bishop F4. I followed through with my plan. Now my opponent opted to trade some pieces, and here, just a crazy move by white. A very instructive move for you not to make. This is also instructive in terms of pawn play. You know, if you have central presence, I really don't think you should just give it away so easily. I'm drinking out of a garbage can, by the way. I don't know if you see that. It's kind of a cool little glass. Yeah, you should not be playing the move pawn takes C5 in this position, because you just lose all your control in the center. You do potentially open up your rook, but you lose all possibilities to fight for the center. I really didn't like the move pawn takes C5, and I further hated the move bishop takes E4. Like, clearly my opponent is just trying to find some clarity in the position, trade some of the pieces, and without so many of the pieces around, they think, well, less pieces, less tactics. Hey, more pieces you trade, less pieces you can blunder, huh? You know who said that? Me. Yeah. Me. I said that. Now, Rook E4 is a dopamine move because it attacks the queen. This move, I had a genius idea here. I was like, my opponent's going to move the knight. I'm going to bring my queen over here, and I'm going to use my E and F pawns and my bishop from a distance and my rooks behind my E and F pawns, and I'm going to launch a devastating attack. I want to play Queen G6, F5, F4, F3, E3, put, you know, pressure with my rooks, pressure with my bishop. My bishop is going to stand on A8 and just be an absolute menace, and that is exactly what I did. I implemented the plan where my bishop ends up going here, my queen ends up going here. I moved my king here. I didn't actually have to do this, but I just wanted to be out of the way of this. And I did not see how my opponent was supposed to stop this attack. I just didn't see it. I was like, my opponent can take this pawn and this pawn. Like, I don't care. F4, etc. They took a pawn, F4, H5. The knight absolutely cannot move forward. It has to go back to H2, at which point the attack will continue. And I just trapped his knight in the middle of the board if he did go forward. I mean, my pawns are simply too strong. And I just thought this was such a pretty effort. Like, rooks behind the pawns, bishop just in the corner, just an absolute scumbag standing over there, like, making life terrible for white. And I ended up winning the night, and my opponent resigned. So the tournament concluded with me only gaining like 1 rating point. I started the tournament 2940. I wanted to make a video about peaking at 2940, but I actually peaked at 2954. I got my highest win ever. I beat a top 10 blitz player in the world. I'm over the moon. You know, evidently, as we've seen in my classical games this month, when I played in this local small event, That doesn't translate at all. I still have to actually win winning positions. I still have to play well in classical chess. It is not like Blitz at all. But I am happy with these results. This is the best chess that I've played in any of my time of having an online account. So go play some chess. Go do the Chessly Holiday Challenge. Go do something with chess. Keep at it. Took me like 10 years to get here, but here we are. That's all I have for you today. Thanks for following my journey. Thanks for supporting. Happy holidays. Shout out to my grandpa. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Graham. See you later. In a few hours, actually. And that's all. Get out of here.